Hi, and welcome to a good old-fashioned brief Bible study. I have a special episode for you today. Should take just a few minutes, so let's get right into it. I'll be in the Song of Solomon today, and I'll first give you the background of what inspired today's episode. It was actually inspired by a young man who just recently passed away, a young man named Colton. He was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer at the age of 4 and fought a good fight and finished his course at the age of 15. And basically, that's all he knew. He never got to truly experience life in his main memories since the age of 4 to 15. And that didn't hold him down. He was a good kid, he was a cool kid. Uh, and had a vivacious spirit and imagination to him. He learned how to live a life of meaning and purpose regardless of his circumstances. But he has this shirt, and actually I'm wearing it right now, that he and his mom designed together. Take a look at it. With the flame and the cat and the saying, which says, "Set your heart ablaze." So, "Set your heart ablaze" is going to be the main driving force behind our little study today. So, that's the background information. But he lived his life with a passionate heart, and his mind and his heart were set to do so, to make the best of what he had. So, in the Song of Solomon, which I'm going to read with you now, there's just a couple of verses that I want to get out of this. Chapter 8, verses 6 and 7. To give you some background on the book now, it's a poem that's written or reads much like a romantic poem. And it's actually set to be a representation of the relationship that God has with his people. And of course, for us now would be God's relationship with the saved or the church. And as a result of that, we can see this deep, rich, passionate love as if between a man and a woman. And it's amazing. And go ahead and experiment with this. Whenever you hear some really good, rich, romantic ballads that are written, notice how if you relate them to deeper relationship like with our creator, and how no one intimately knows us better than the creator who made us. You know what I mean? He knows every little nook and cranny. King David had that kind of relationship with God. When you go to the Psalms, Psalm 139, where David says, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made," and he talks about how God knows everything about him, and wherever he goes, God is there and can be found. And so the same thing is true here. So I'm going to read these two verses. Now remember, "set your heart ablaze" is the driving force of the inspiration behind today's episode. So Song of Solomon chapter 8 verse 6 says, "Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm. For love is strong as death, jealousy is cruel as the grave. The coals thereof are coals of fire, which has a most vehement flame. Many waters cannot quench love, neither can the floods drown it. If a man would give all the substance of his house for love, it would utterly be despised." So there you go. That's good stuff. So set, set a seal in my heart. Love. Now, love is the seal. So it's like the saying, "Set your heart." There's a setting happening here. There's a commitment that's happening here. And of course, love is the bond. And he describes it as strong as death. Now, this appropriately works at multiple levels here, because love goes beyond the grave. Love is stronger than the grave. There's a text in Romans chapter 8 where the Apostle Paul, who fell in love with Christ for his grace and his forgiveness, and he says that, "I am persuaded that neither death nor life nor angels, demons, principalities, powers, anything, nothing. It kind of goes down a list of things. Nothing can separate me from the love of God. And he says here that jealousy is cruel as the grave. Now, of course, what that's meaning is jealousy, a love kind of jealousy, an appropriate kind of jealousy. I assure you right now that the family of Colton was jealous for time with him, has a rich, appropriate, holy kind of jealousy. And even right now, they're jealous to have more time with him. They're jealous for his memory. They're jealous for the spirit that he set. And that's an appropriate kind of jealousy. And God has the same kind of jealousy for us, and we should have a jealousy for God as well. Things get in the way in life, things hinder us, things distract us, and we should actively set those things aside, remove those things to carve out more time with our Creator in prayer, Bible study, worship, fellowship with the saints, fellowship with other believers. This is the stuff that love is made of, and jealousy, the good kind of jealousy, not the garbage that causes issues, you know what I mean? Coals of fire and the most vehement flame, commitment to passion, living a spiritual life. And verse 7, many waters cannot quench love, neither can the floods drown it. And if a man gave all the substance of his house for it, you can't buy love. Just like the Beatles said, can't buy me love. There's another one that's one of those examples of a romantic song or a ballad working well in parallel with a love and a relationship with God. God's love for humanity is beyond us. When we get to know Him and seek, the good word and the actual truth and message of the gospel, and it's all summed up quite nicely in John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. That's what it's all about. God loved so much that He was willing to give anything to have eternity with us. A love and a relationship that could not be quenched and that would never go away. That's good stuff, man. That's beautiful. So set your heart ablaze for God, for His is most assuredly set ablaze for you. Thank you.